Forgetting, so it is the inability to recall or recognize the information that is thought to be stored in the long term memory. So any memory, whatever we have recalled, recognized, we will forget that. And it could be a gradual or sudden process. We can forget the things gradually or maybe suddenly. According to the moon, forgetting is a loss permanent or the temporary of the inability to recall or recognize something learned earlier. Whatever we have learned earlier in our memory, we will forget that, maybe permanent or maybe temporary, because we have different types of memory. We have short term memory, we have long term memory. Causes of forgetting is that decay and memory traces. Maybe it is the memories of the many events and experiences become dim over time. So, very few traces will remain in our mind and some of them will decay. Motivation, we forget because we do not want to remember something. If we have no interest, if we are not motivated to do some task, we will not remember that. Interference is that like new information can interfere with the retrieval of the older information. For example, remembering a phone number. New phone number will not remember easily because we have already known older number. Retrieval failure, example, blank out during examination. You know the information, but sometimes there are some clues which are absent. Types of forgetting, we have different types of forgetting. First is the natural or normal. Normal means unintentionally loss of information, means unintentionally we will lose the information. And morbid or abnormal means for example exogenous, if there is any injury that will that will forget something. Endogenous, if they have any clot in the brain, so that will also affect the learning or memory. Next maybe any physical. And retroactive and proactive. Retroactive means when new information interfere the previous one, and its opposite is the proactive, means when older memory interfere with the newer ones. Theories of forgetting. First theory is the interference theory, that new learning can interfere with the retrieval of the older information. We have two types, proactive interference and retroactive, which we have already discussed. This is the example. Proactive interference is that learning Spanish and learn French. So Spanish interfere with the recall of the French words because we already knew Spanish. Retroactive interference, learn Spanish and learn French. French interfere with the recall of the Spanish word. This is the retroactive interference number. And this is the example of interference theory, that switching phone number. Difficulty switching phone number to become new number because the old number interfere with the retrieval of the new one. Retrieval failure theory, that memories cannot recall because there are certain retrieval cues that are absent. Whenever you're sitting in the exam, maybe you will remember the information, but there are some clues which will absent. That's why you are blank out during examination sometime. Forgetting due to retrieval failure or inadequate memory clues. Trace decay theory is that memory traces naturally fade over time if not used. So if we are not using, they will decay. And these are some of the strategies which will help to minimize the forgetting. Periodic review means we have to review again and again. For example, remembering a phone number, we will repeat it again. There will be a proper method of the learning which will help us to remember the things. There is the self recitation, again recall the things. There is a repetition, practice again and again, making a clear concept. And mnemonic system, or maybe the flow charts, mind maps. And the whole and part method means first we'll see the whole and then we'll focus on every single part. So this is all about the forgetting types, theories and factors and strategies to minimize the forgetting.